episode of My Life in the Multiverse. I am Thaddeus.
I'm Anthony.
And it's just the two of us today.
It's
just the two of us. We can deck it if we try.
We can build you anything if you give us the money.
That's actually factual, because I'm not gonna buy and build a deck that I also don't get to play.
Yeah.
Unless it's like super cheap, because I'm fucking frugal.
It's frugal.
Frugal. I can't words.
Learn dictionary.
It's not like I podcast for a living. I don't actually. I don't podcast. I do a lot of them though. I do.
But it's
lot.
not your living.
No, I don't get paid to do this.
We can tell.
Oh.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. The last one was actually really good.
Yeah, a lot of people liked it. A lot I actually got numerous people asking me if they can come up and play with us now.
Like who? Like I saw Ryan.
Ryan wants to do it, and there's this kid Hunter who I didn't know played, and he listened to our podcast, and he was like, "Hey, I didn't know. Can I come up and play with you guys sometime?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, fucking why not?"
Right?
Like, what the hell?
The more the merrier.
Yeah, so our group it started with like you, me, Carl, and Mike, and I tried to have Chris in there, and whatever. Shit went down.
We won't go there.
Yeah, shit went down. Just weird. It couldn't make time for us. That's fine. Whatever. Life happens.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had Lexi, and she's always kind of been in the mix.
She's just not real into it. I think
Yeah.
I feel like I'm pulling her into it.
Bring me down. Yeah. I think she enjoys it. I think it's one of those things because like
it's a competitive thing with her. She hates losing.
I've kind of noticed that, but at the same time, like she never really lets it out with me. But like it's always like 50-50.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of my decks like are good decks, but like I don't care if I win.
Mm-hmm.
It just kind of happens.
Mm-hmm.
And the deck that I gave her is a really good deck.
Yeah, it prevent this damage. You eventually run out of cards. Or are you talking about?
I'm talking about the core.
Yeah, that's a really good deck.
I honestly think it's better than the other one.
The mill?
Oh yeah. It's more better in the sense of it's more simplistic and easier to pilot.
Oh yeah, it's way easier to use.
Oh yeah. Whereas like, the difference between white and blue is like blue you have to like think 3 steps ahead. You can't just be like that turn. Whereas white you can think a step ahead. You don't have to. It's like I draw, I put a planes down, I play something, or I attack you in the face.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's all I really have to do.
That's kind of like the same way with red. You play a mana, you throw spells at their face and attack with whatever you have.
Yeah. I'm not gonna like counter you. I'm not gonna like ramp up my mana.
It's not green.
No. I'm not gonna decay you from within, I'm not gonna mill you out with a fucking goblin deck.
That would be cool as hell.
That'd be stupid.
That would be awesome.
Just like 4 goblin guides and like stack your deck with lands. Just get 16 lands out by turn 3. They're just like discarding it. Ah shit. We're not here to talk about.
You would have to mill until you got a goblin guide in your hand, though.
No, yeah. Well, if you're running 4 play sets, it shouldn't be that hard. Especially if you're running like Seer Stone or whatever it is, where you can like tap it and start scrying. Because like that or Howling Mine is really good in red decks because then you keep filling your hand in, or you can see what's coming next. You don't
wish Howling Mines were. Is it legal?
No,
I didn't think so.
Modern.
Modern.
Okay, so we're getting to like what we actually came here to talk about today. Eventually, do you prefer modern or standard?
Standard.
Why? Because I think we're gonna have the same answer, but I gotta know.
I guess the reason with me is because it's a smaller platform. Well, like it's a bigger platform with players. More players play standard, and it's because it's 3 sets, not X. Which
it's from like modern is from 8th edition to
on. Now.
In case you didn't know, and standard is like
they don't drop off 8th edition when the next one comes out.
No, it just continually gets bigger. And like so, we're roughly the same answer. Mine essentially is modern doesn't change. Like your top decks are always going to be the top decks. Like your top decks are like Infinity, Storm, Burn. I guess Eldrazi until they got rid of. I have Ugin. You know, like Jund. I guess you could put up Jund still a contender. You know, like there's like 5 or 6 decks. You know, and like in standard now, like just from the last Pro Tour, the end of this last weekend, from Shadows on down to Dragons, we got 5 sets of cards to play with instead of
6.
Well, no, instead of like 8th edition on to now.
Oh,
every
to now. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's like what 2007 to that's almost 10 years worth of cards to build anything. There's like a few bands here or there, but like you can build anything out of that thing.
Oh, God.
And people only play 5 or 6, maybe 7 decks. You know, like that's it. Standard, like you can play Red Green Werewolves. You know, you can play Bant Company. You can still play Abzan Company. You can play a Red Green Ramp. You can play Blue White Spirits, Blue White Flyers. You can play Black Red Vampires. Case in point, you know, like there's like 3 different mill decks. You have that Demonic Pact deck with like there's like 3 color, 4 color good stuff. You know, like you got Super Friends like with all the fucking plane. Like I just named off 10 decks that are like super competitive and can win against anything.
Yeah.
And can beat each other. Modern, you have like 5 or 6 decks. Like you can make up this unique card combo between something that came out in like Legend of Kamigari or whatever, and like Return to Ravnica, and something out of like fucking the Gatewatch. And you'd be like, oh, these cards all look really cool and play together, and you can go like 2 and 2 or 3 and 1. But unless you're playing like the top deck, you're not gonna win. Because that's just what it's built around. Like these decks are built to like play against the top decks.
Yes.
And everything else are just kind of like, oh, that's cute. You still lose. So it's for me like it gives you a lot more options of like card pool, but it limits what you can actually do it. Because unless you're willing to shell out like the minimum of like a $400 or $500 deck, which I don't know, but I don't have $400 or $500 where I'm just like, oh yeah.
I've got it, but it got to go to the bills.
Yeah. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, I have like the basic land set up. But like, I can't afford to go out and get all these fucking cards and just be like, oh, there we go, that's an Infinity deck. So, like an Infinity deck, like a good one that is like maybe tier 2, they're missing a few key cards, minimum like $1,000.
Wow.
I can't afford that.
No.
That is like 2 months rent for me for 60 cards. No.
No thanks.
No thank you. I'm good. I'm alright. Whereas like in standard, like the standard deck I'm building, which can be very competitive, especially against like critter based decks, like creatures. I keep saying critters, I don't fucking know why. Like, I think I have dropped in maybe $40-$50 into the whole deck. And that's, but I haven't done anything with like mana base yet, really. Like everything is super cheap. It has great synergy, so for like the way it looks, I haven't got a chance to really play it yet because I'm missing like a few key cards. But just from the way it looks, synergistically wise, like I should have no problem against any creature deck. And with the way I'm going to have my counter set up, I'm going to have no problem really against any like planeswalker or like all spells deck. Like,
well, what do you have to counter planeswalkers besides negate?
That's all I need, really.
If they're running a full play set of 3 different planeswalkers.
But you're also remembering I'm also putting things into their graveyard repeatedly.
Yeah, because you're milling them
like
out.
Every turn, they're doing at least 9 cards. As soon as I get online, once I get online, it's going to be hard to stop me. I can get online by turn 3, like fairly well, if it runs the way that it looks like it's going to run, which it does. Like, so like they may have like a few of them here or there, and they may all draw. And if they start drawing, they're just helping me at this point.
Yeah, because if they're drawing more, their library continually gets smaller.
That's less for me to do, and planeswalkers are really strong. But there's none that are really like Nahiri can affect me because my win condition is a creature and an enchantment that do the same thing. She can get rid of the enchantment. Like Sorin can get rid of the creature. You know, Obnixilus can get rid of the creature, but he draws cards. Nahiri draws cards. Sorin draws cards, and they can burn me in the face. Yeah, that could happen, and that's probably my biggest weakness. Is I don't have anything to protect me from burn. But I could just throw in more counter spells. Like I could throw like dispels in there for to counter like instants. I have that for some reason I keep forgetting the name. Invasive surgery for like sorceries and shit. So that takes out like burn within and shit. And if it's got delirium, all those are gone. which means that's now, if you have cast the first one, I haven't built any, that is now 3 other cards I don't have to mill out of your deck.
Exactly.
So it's just pulling more shit out of there. So in my head, it should work really well. And it cost me less than $60 to put together. Whereas, like, you could go in Modern and a 60 card, $70 deck, maybe? You're not gonna do very well. Because you don't have the stuff. I went on this whole Modern rant, and I'm sorry I took it away.
Oh no, it's fine. Because I'm really not a big Modern player.
Yeah.
I prefer to stay standard or sealed and draft style.
Honestly, I prefer drafting.
I really enjoyed the sealed, like when we went down to the pre-release.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's definitely more to be had at a draft.
Yeah. It's
especially
much more...
when everybody at your table keeps passing you one color that no one else is taking.
Yeah, it worked out great for you, not so much for me. Still bitter about that.
That's probably my favorite memory, honestly, because that was awesome.
It was pretty awesome.
Because I took second place at a tournament.
And then won our individuals.
Yeah.
Our a local draft that we had with our little group.
Mm-hmm.
I got third. And technically, you never beat me at that one, so you're only up by 1. And I beat you at the pre-release, so...
He does a lot of talking.
Since we're on a mic, they can't really see your hand flap.
Yes, I know. That's why I want the video. But I also don't want to dress up.
Yeah, like, look decent. I mean, we can call it like the...
You don't really have to look decent. You just have to look presentable.
Isn't that what decent means?
I guess.
Yeah, like a shirt with, like, ripped holes and maybe sleeves. Ain't got no sleeves. Anyway, what we are actually here to talk about today, now we're overly standard Modern rant of magnitude. I was going to use a different word and totally fucked it up. So just deal with it, I'm sorry. Is actually essentially the story of Chauvin and how he got into playing Magic the Gathering, which I think you've been playing as long, if not maybe longer than me.
You were playing before I was.
I don't know, I want to say I remember you playing with Carl when he's still in the trailer right before I started playing. 'Cause I didn't start playing till 2009.
I didn't play with Carl until Richard showed me how to play.
Seems like we have a common denominator.
Richard was the one who showed us how to play.
Essentially, and then we found out that Richard didn't play the right way.
We won't go there either.
Yeah. So, going back to name the year.
07, 08?
07, 08? Yeah. So you were playing before I was then. I didn't play playing until 2008, 2009.
Yeah, it was right as I graduated. So it would have been 2000. It was probably 2008.
Yeah, you graduated 2008. I graduated 2009.
Yeah.
So you played for roughly a whole year before me, essentially. So you came.
But also, since then, I've probably played less, just because I've taken probably more time off.
I'd agree with that. Yeah. So you start back in 2007, 2008. That's around Shards of Alar set with Conflux and Alar Warborn.
It was, yep.
Going into Magic 2010.
Mm-hmm.
What was your first deck?
I didn't actually build my own until Oath of the Gatewatch. I really did not have my own. I always used someone else's up until now.
So there is I'm gonna try and do math here. Bear with me. What?
6 years.
6? Is it 6 years?
6 years.
Well, if you're going from 2008 to 2000.
No, it would be 8 years.
8 years. 8 years without having your own signature deck. How did you do that?
How did I do? I really, after I graduated and moved back to Council Bluffs, I didn't play until you called me up and said, "Hey, let's go play Magic." You didn't call me, but you texted me, dropped messages on Facebook.
Yeah, I don't really like calling people. I'm weird.
Oh, and I've gotten away from texting. Texting just annoys the piss out of me now.
I will call people if it's important, but most of the time, like, I will shoot like a message saying exactly what I want, because I also don't like texting that much anymore. I think I'm just like, I'm at the age now, you might agree with me, where I'm at the age where like I have my people.
Mm-hmm.
Alright?
I'm there as well.
They know exactly what I want and what I want to say. I don't need to like go out and find someone new and establish a new relationship with that person. I already have everyone I need. And they know exactly what I want. So it's like this, and then back, and then I can go back to being a fucking hermit.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically what I am.
I'm the same way. It's basically work, eat, sleep, magic, video games.
It's a pretty complete life. You got the 5 basic needs.
Mm-hmm.
And occasionally sex.
Oh yeah, I get that too. But
he says like an afterthought, like, oh, what, you know, it's if I use it.
We've been together 8 years. At this point, it kind of is an afterthought. It happens sometimes, and
it's whatever.
It's whatever.
It's whatever. All right, so we are now in.
That was a wild tangent.
I do have that tendency. I don't know if anyone, like, if you listen to any other podcasts I do, I have that a lot. And then you go over to like my Warbear podcast, I just go off on random shit. No reason. So you just gotta bear with me. It takes a 5-minute detour, and then we'll
get back on topic.
we'll find our exit and get back on the interstate to where we need to be to get to our destination. And we're going back that way now to 2010. Roughly, I think when we started, we go to our first Friday Night Magics, if I'm correct.
Yeah, and I always use your decks.
Yeah, I don't know which one you were playing.
I always used the allies. It was your original allies.
I think it was the Naya allies.
It wasn't Naya. It was
Naya?
It was green and white. That was it.
Green white. It was green white. Right. Yeah. Okay, so not to pull away from you, I wasn't until like 2012 I started playing blue. Like, really playing blue. Until
you learned what blue could do.
Yeah. So, like, before when I started, it was like my color was white, and then it splashed like red and green. Mm-hmm. I didn't like black. Blue just disgusted me. How times have changed. So, like, when I saw allies, like, I didn't even give blue a second thought with all the card draw and milling and stuff. Like, until I saw in 2012 a guy deck out somebody. That's when, like, a light bulb went off in my head. Like, I need to play that. So like at the time, and what we're talking about now was like 2010. I had it's right after the first Zendikar came out.
Okay.
Yeah, because that was when the allies got introduced. And
yeah.
Goblin God got introduced, and Step Links, and oh man, all the fetch lands. Oh, so much value. Like, by far, like my favorite set. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say Zendikar brought a lot to the table.
It was an aggressive format. Like,
oh boy,
like so good.
I loved it.
That's when Sorin got introduced for the first time. Like Jace.
I'm kind of irritated they didn't introduce Sorin since he's like thousands of years old until Zendikar.
Well, he didn't have a storyline until Zendikar.
True.
Because his whole storyline started basically with him, Ugin, and Nahiri sealing up the Eldrazi, and you didn't find out who the other two were until like what, Legends of Tarkir?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or Dragons and Cons when you meet Ugin.
Mm-hmm.
And I could be wrong on that. That was kind of the period where I stopped playing. But we're 2010. Zendikar just comes out. I have that green-white ally deck that you'd play.
Mm-hmm.
And I had that red goblin deck that you'd play. And I remember like every time I'd go down there, I'd only go 2 and 2.
Yeah.
And I could never get past that hump. Yeah. I don't know what your best one was.
3 and 1.
Yeah, like I have this. I'm a good player, but I think fundamentally Shaw's better than me. And that's not just because he beat me in the draft, or he plays higher in our draft. But if you go to our pre-release, the pre-release we did, when we played, it was I won, you won, I won, and then we played again. You won, I won, and then we had to call it that game to go to our actual match. Yeah. So at the pre-release, we were playing the same deck. We just kept trading wins.
Yeah.
And then we get to the draft. And you like telling this one, so continue.
At the draft, we sit down at the table. I'm running behind because I feel like playing in 2 tournaments at the same time and had to drop out one because I got stomped in the standard tournament.
Oh, I got worse than you. You just got a win instead.
I got a win.
Hence my point. You're better than me.
But I get to the draft table, we start cracking packs, and I realize no one, and I mean no one, is taking green. And I keep getting past these just great green cards, and I splash black in to fill out the deck to make it 40 cards.
And where was I sitting at?
He was sitting to my right, so he passed me so much crap because we passed to the left twice and to the right once. So he passed me a lot of stuff.
A lot.
It's all because he wanted to force white-blue spirits. Or he wanted to force blue. I don't know if white was the color.
White only...
It just happened to be the one he went with.
I put white in there because everyone passed me 3 angelic purges, which it was hard to pass up on.
Yes.
And like 2 Thraben investigators and a Stern Constable, and I was like, and a Toppelgeist. So I'm like, well, I guess I'm playing blue-white.
Yeah.
But I was playing blue. And I kept getting on some green. I was like, I'm gonna play green.
You should have gone green-blue.
If I did,
I told you this.
If I did, what would you have played?
This is true. I still had a lot of green. I probably would have had to have gone green. I'd probably had to go 3. I probably would have had to have gone green, black, white.
Yeah. So
because I didn't take any blue, and I had very little red.
So I am passing you all this awesome green.
He's passing me all this awesome green, and we happen to get paired for the first round.
And so we've been joking basically the whole night of, in the standard, like, oh, we're going to get paired up. We didn't get paired up. Because at the pre-release, we got paired up first.
Yeah, in our pre-release, we got paired up first, and it was like, well, at least we're not so tense anymore because we were playing friends at the first round.
It loosens you up. And then at the standard, I was like, oh, we're going to get paired up. It's going to be funny. We're going to get paired up again. Because I knew I could beat his vampires at that point. Mm-hmm. Because it was basically just a rough idea / shell of what it's going to be.
Yes.
And my deck was just, I changed out like 10 cards from a modern deck to make it legal. And I'll get a free pack. So they did pair us up on that. And then it comes to the draft. And it was like, oh, they're going to pair us up. Ha 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 ha.
It happened.
It was not like the pre-release at all.
No. He really drew himself. He was playing the green or the blue-white clue deck, so he kept drawing cards drawing, but drawn into nothing to win. I had so many ways to win.
I drew in 2 more draw spells. I think my win condition was to deck myself out.
If you could only sacrifice the clue to make them draw cards.
I didn't have enough clue. Like, at that point, I was just giving you more fuel.
Yeah, because I was just playing. So many werewolves.
He made 1 mistake in our match. 1.
Was that all?
Do you remember what your mistake was?
I don't remember.
You remember that one guy? We had Delirium.
Oh, yeah, Delirium, and I ended up getting him killed. Yeah, because what his Delirium was put a 1/1 counter on target creature at the beginning of your upkeep or end step, one of the 2.
That was his only mistake. And there's at one point he was gonna make a mistake, and he caught himself, and I was like, no way. Do you remember what that part was?
No.
Do you remember those 2 instances where you get +1/+1 for every clue you have?
Oh, yeah. And I made it. That wasn't against you, though.
That was against me. That was game 2, where you already had the game 1. But
really?
But you're like, let's see what happens.
Well, see, I used that same type of win on one of the next opponent because he tapped his defense down. I had 1 creature. I was able to pump this 1 creature. I think he was like a 4/5, and I pumped him up to 10 in a turn.
Yeah. Well, what I think remember happening was you didn't have any clues at this point. I think you had like 1 clue, I think.
Yeah, and with him, I didn't have any.
Yeah. Well, so at this point, he had like 1 clue, and he had to go play the instant. And he stopped. He goes, "Oh, hang on now. I don't remember what it is you did, but somehow you made like 2 extra clues, and then you played both those instances, and on each one, you get another clue.
You investigate,
so, like,
and then tack on.
So you investigate, giving this thing plus 3/3, and then you investigate again, and then you get plus 4/4. So you made this already like 3 or 4/4 into an 11/11, and then you turn him sideways and you hit me in the face with it. And I think I was at like 2 life. Like, it was completely unnecessary to do so, but you're like, this is gonna be cool.
Yeah, I wanted to see how big I could get him,
and he's big. He kind of toe to toe with Ulamog, dude. But it's like, fuck, get this Strahd.
Went Kozilek on your ass.
Yeah, Strahd's kicking Zendikar's ass right now.
Kind of is.
Yeah, so like if you compare us up like draft wise, again going back to my point earlier, why I think you're a better player than I am, is one, you fucking destroyed me that day.
That day.
Pre-release, we're even playing basically the same deck, which will come out to just piling. Our draft, I went 2-1, and you just sweeped everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you beat Lexi. Bad.
I felt bad doing that.
I think you beat Jana.
Pretty bad.
And then John, who was the entire night, I had no illusions of grandeur that I was gonna win by any means. I'm like, it's gonna come down to him or Shab. And I was like,
that's what happened.
Yeah. But I thought it was gonna be like a 2-1 split.
Oh yeah.
Still,
and I won 2 games.
Still kind of in your favor because you were more familiar with the set, so you had the advantage.
Yeah.
But when it came down to like you and John, I was like, here it goes, and then you just fucking skull fucked it.
Nah, he had me scared because he kept dropping and dropping. I'm like, I'm running out of removal. I need to get in there. And then he threw the Get Rog monster down, and I was like, kill it. I'm coming in with everything. Ended up winning.
You went 2-0 against him.
Barely. The second game, he almost had me. I only had like 5 or 6 life.
Yeah. You still went 2-0. I lost to John. 1-2. I lost to him. So even though I can say Anthony never beat me, I would have lost to Anthony. Just because as he drafts, like, I don't know what it is. I honestly think he might be a better brewer than I am too. Like as an overall Magic player, like I may know more about like the sets and stuff, but I think he can see like the bigger picture better than I can. Where he's like, oh, this goes with this, with this, with this. Like
I see, yeah, and I think I'll agree with you on that. Like I think you can make different mechanics work with each other.
Yeah.
And I feel like I can do that a little bit, but just not like a extreme marginal.
By no means, by no means am I saying like he blows me out of the water.
Yeah, me either.
What I'm saying is like I am very good. I'm very good at Magic. I'm very good at like seeing a big picture. He just sees it a little bit faster than I do.
That's why I want to go to the Grand Prix.
Yeah, which does 2 things. One, makes me like, yeah, I got a friend who's like really fucking good. And at the same time, it pisses me off. Whereas
you got a friend who's better.
Whereas I don't mind. I like winning. I like losing. But like when it comes to like things that I know I'm really good at, I get very competitive at it.
Yeah.
So like
I am the same way.
So like you put me in like a football game. I know I'm not really good at football. I'll just go out and have fun. Like I don't really care if I win or lose. It's whatever. You know, like I take Magic fairly seriously. Like when it's a casual game, I don't mind. I win, I lose. It's whatever.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like drafting, I'm very good at drafting. My problem is I get very short-sighted. I just want to do it like I want to make
you go
this.
in. What I feel your biggest problem is you go in with a mindset of
this is what I want to play.
You want to do this,
and then if it doesn't work,
force it to happen.
Yeah. Instead of like that's not open, I should take this and change my strategy. I'm like, I just want to do this.
In our draft night, I kind of had to do that because I was hoping everybody was going to pass me green again. That didn't happen. Well, so I ended up having to go 3 colors.
Yeah,
I went red, white, green.
Yeah.
And
you only splashed. I think you only splashed white for Nahiri, didn't you? Or is it red you splashed for Nahiri?
It was red I splashed for Nahiri.
Yeah,
because I did not take any red removal. I did take some white removal, and then I took some green pumps.
Yeah. Like, I think I looked at your deck after it was done for like a second. And looking at it, it was like, what the hell is this thing? Because It was like...
It looks so random. But in a 40 card format where everybody is kind of doing the same thing,
yeah,
it worked.
Yeah, like if you take... I was playing blue-red spells. It was basically... Because I pulled a thing in the ice because no one played blue.
I would have tried to force blue if I had gotten past that.
Well, that's the thing. Everyone kept passing me blue. Like, 90% of my pool was blue with a little bit of red. So I'm like, alright. And I got like 2 temples that, what was it?
Drown Your Temples?
No, it wasn't that. It was, Return of the one where it's like cost 6 and you get like 2/2 zombies for a sorcery and instant.
Oh, in your graveyard?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I know what you're talking about. I don't remember the name.
I got past 2 of those. So I'm like, that's going to be a win condition. I have Thing in the Ice as a win condition. And I'm like, you put my deck out there, like, you see a deck. Like, that's what it is. I went 2-1, and my 2 wins were against Mikey. You know, so, like...
Yeah, because we only had so many people. So
yeah, we only had 6. We get paired back up to the guy I lost. He won. So we got paired back up, thinking, well, maybe I'll go 1 and 2. I did not, because I have a very controlling deck, and his was very low... fast creatures. Like his was a quick aggro deck was what he had built up.
Yeah.
John's deck was very synergistic on himself. It was basically Jund. You know, like he had the Grit Rug monster, he had all those werewolves, he had some of these pump spells, he had the
Was
Arlo.
he red, green, black?
Yeah, he had black in there for the Grit Rug monster.
That was it? Yeah.
Yeah. Like
that's kind of like me having red for Nahiri.
Yeah. So like I look at his
But
deck.
she did win me one of my games with John.
Well, like that's what I'm saying. Like you look at his deck, like I see what this is. I looked at your deck, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm exactly looking at. Like, I see parts of things, but I didn't see how they went together. Which is probably why I would have fucking lost.
Because I would have made them go together.
Yeah, because, like, as you're playing it, like, you just make things work. So, like, I can take, like, even your 60-card decks. Like, your colorless deck, for instance. Like, I looked at that, and I'm like, I have ideas of what you want I could do with it to make it better. But it doesn't go with your archetype that you have of being colorless.
Yeah.
So I'm like, alright, well, I can do this. And I changed like a few things in it.
Yeah.
And it works a little bit better. But it was like it was already there. It was just a matter of taking this out and putting this one thing in here.
Yeah.
So it was already there. And I'm like, damn, I didn't think of that. Like,
one thing my Eldrazi deck needs is a ramp. Because every Eldrazi is so effing big.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have a lot of ramp. It's got a couple token producers, but not enough.
Well, it's because you're going straight colorless.
Yeah,
like
and there's no green, there's no red, there's
Well, even at that, like, there's no like just straight colorless that brings out like the scions.
There's
like,
a couple.
Not a lot though.
No, yeah, just
that's what I'm saying.
It is just a couple.
You got a few of those Hedrons that you can tap for mana. You got the Pilgrim's Eye, which I don't know if you took out or not.
No, they're still in there.
Because that lets you search out the waste to get you more mana. Like 1 deck thinning, 2 you get a jump blocker, or 1/1 fly to ping away at them a little bit. You know, you got those 1 Eldrazi you can tap for 2 colorless, like, but they cost like 4 or 5 to get out. Mm-hmm. Like, by no means this deck, by looking at it, and this isn't like, I'm not trying to insult you. Like, when you look at the deck, you're like, there is no
How
way.
in the hell is this going to work?
There's no way this is going to get off the ground. And then you lose to it. And you're just sitting there like, what the fuck just happened? And it's because like it's so unassuming. Like all his decks are very unassuming, and then you die, and you're like, God damn it, he did it again.
This is probably my most assumptuous deck.
Yeah, well, like that's another point. Like Red Black Vampires. I was walking to the store like the other day, and it just occurred to me. He has 2 Chandra Flame Haulers that he was running in this red-green ramp aggro thing.
Yeah, you could call it that.
Yeah, like,
because it really wasn't. It was just kind of thrown together.
Yeah, I didn't really know what the thing was. Like,
it was really my intention with that deck was to be a
Planeswalkers?
support producing deck. When you play certain things, it supports 2, support 3, support this, that, and make it a 1/1 counter deck.
Okay, I guess I can see that. Well, you got the Nissas in there and stuff. So I'm like,
and the Planeswalkers were in there for bombs, really.
Yeah,
and then, well, that's what Chandra was. Nissa was there
Tokens
really,
and pump.
tokens is what those chump blockers.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to keep the creatures I had alive.
Okay. So, like, in that deck, that's where that Cryptolith enchantment I was talking about earlier would go, like, phenomenal.
Yes.
Then you throw in some fireball effects in there.
Mm-hmm.
Because of how many, like, creatures you should be able to, like, put out with that deck. And then you just tap out everything, because, like, that deck doesn't have a problem getting at them, like, at all.
No, it didn't.
So you just tap all those out and you hit them in the face for, like, 20.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're already picking away at them, like, throughout the entire game. But, like, what I was saying was, like, I was on my way down the store the other day, like, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, and I remember he had those flame callers, and I was like, he should put those in his vampires. I thought it was, like, a brilliant fucking epiphany that I had. And I shoot him a message, like, hey, you need to put these in the deck. And he's like, I already did. And it was like, yeah. And then I got pissed off. Not mad because, like, oh, I think she's better. I was mad because, like, I didn't think of it. And then, like, I was running down, like, the ideas.
No, I didn't put her in until after you told me.
But you're already thinking about it, though. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, you already have the same mindset of, like, I should put these in there. And I was looking at it.
My biggest thing with decks and building them after I already have something built is deciding what I want to take out. Because if I have something that works, I feel like I shouldn't mess with it. But then there's things that work better, but there's things that still work well. It's just like, what do I do to get this in there? What do I have to take out?
It's kind of almost one of those, like, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Mm-hmm.
But, like...
It's like, well, and it's also a risk-reward. Because when you replace something with, like, Shanda, the Flamecaller, she's a 6 mana cost.
Yeah.
I put her in there over a 4 mana cost, and she's the highest cost in my deck.
Yeah, so now your curve goes up.
So this means she's... I don't know. She's definitely the most expensive thing, but she does so many different things.
And
I could use her for a board wipe.
Yeah.
I could use her to pump my vampires. Yeah. I can use her to draw cards.
Well, like, that's the thing, was, like, I had thought of the first and second ability, like, wonderfully in the deck. I was like, alright, you put those creatures out there, and then you can use your aristocrat to pay 4 and sack them and pump all your guys up, and then you can swing in for some more damage. Or, like, get her out there, you can drop her out there, do a field wipe, like, yeah. And then he said, I could use her second ability and discard his guys and use madness, and I was like, God damn it. Because it didn't occur to me.
Yeah. Madness is amazing.
It is, especially when you're running that, I forget, I am
Falkenrath Warrior.
Thank you. See, another thing, he is really good at remembering the fucking names.
I'm really not. I'm just really good at remembering what's in my deck.
Well, like, I can tell you what the card does.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, though, you can tell me what the card's name is.
Yeah.
So we complement each other.
Yes, we do.
Right. We kind of went on this weird tangent. I don't remember where we were at before we got into this, how I'm inferior to you in many ways. And I'm not even mad about that. Like, that's just like...
It's like, friends, though. It's like, we're not mad at each other. Because either one of us could do very well anytime. If anything, tournament style, it's a coin flip. Whoever, especially at a draft, it's whoever drafts better. Yeah. Whoever gets the better cards is gonna get it, because we obviously know the mechanics.
Yeah. Fairly well.
Yeah. I love the new mechanics. Madness is amazing. Madness is probably my favorite new mechanic.
Yeah, it opens up so many doors, too.
It does, because there's so many ways to discard now.
Yeah.
I guess then I really want to build a graveyard as a resource deck, but that's just me.
Sorry.
Cheer alarm.
That's fine. We can go over. Have a good time. Let's do it.
Yeah, this is amazing.
So I think we're at... Now we're past the tangent of... Again, this one went a little longer than normal, of me saying how awesome he is. Because I'm gushing for some reason.
I take praise. I find it hard to give praise unless I feel you're deserving. I know Tad is, but I don't do words.
I have no problem with that. Like, I'm super comfortable with myself. I know exactly where I'm at. I know where I need to do better. When I see someone who is better at me in something, I tend to latch myself onto them because that's how you get better.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is why, like, you're like, I want to go do draft. I'm like, yeah, I want to go draft with him because I know how I draft with him.
This
he
Friday,
will force
we're
me
going
to get
draft.
better. Yes, we are.
It starts at 8?
8:15, something like
By
that.
the way, go to your Friday Night Magic.
Yeah.
Find a store.
Yeah, go to magicthegallery.com and go to the locator, and they can tell you like 9 stores in your area to go play at. Like we have like Underground
12 or
Gaming,
13.
Underground Gaming, Dragon's Lair, Krypton Comics, like numerous other places we can go to. We only really go to Krypton because we're familiar and comfortable there. But eventually we'll go somewhere else. But we're probably gonna do a part 2 eventually.
Oh yes.
Because we've only gotten to like 2010 with you right now.
Yeah.
And
there's still 6 years room.
Yeah, that's a lot of time. So,
but I only played for one of those 6 years, and that was the most recent year.
Yeah. Well, a lot happened in that most recent year, though.
That's true.
Like a lot happened. So I think we're probably gonna like cut it off here in just a couple minutes, but we're gonna go back to 2010. I think that was the same time they were living over. Mikey and his ex-wife were living over in those apartments.
Yes.
That you also lived in.
I lived in a closet there. Yes.
Yeah. And there's a story I want because this is how much fun it is just playing against him. That he doesn't even remember this game.
I've had so many games.
I know he doesn't. But like this is probably one of my favorite games of all time ever playing Magic. It's number 1 or number 2 in the 7+ years of Magic playing that I've done.
Okay.
Like, it is the most fun I ever had because of what happened. And like, I'm almost a little hurt that he doesn't remember the game.
I'm almost ashamed of not remembering.
Because I remember what time it was. I remember exactly where we were at. I remember basically what our life total was. I remember what our board sales was.
You said we were pretty messed up, so like that, I'll blame it on that now.
You know, alcohol. So it was about 2010, early 2011. He was living in a closet with his girlfriend, and
that sounds wrong.
It's not inaccurate.
It's not inaccurate, but it's also not as bad as it sounds.
And so we'd go over. I'd come over to Mikey's house and his house, and we'd play 5 ways, 4 ways. And there was one night we came over. They had made some jungle juice. We started having some drinks, and at this time, I was really big into artifacts and stuff, and like multiple color decks that I didn't know how to build a mana base for because I was still learning. I've been playing for like maybe a year and a half at this point, so I'm like, I'll just put these together and make it work. And so I was playing this really crazy artifact deck that was pretty much revolved around the Sphinx from Alar Reborn. It was a legendary Sphinx where it had like flying, vigilance, lifelink, and it was like a 7 something. It had like this really awesome ability when like
7/6.
like on your upkeep, like I returned an artifact from the grave to the field or whatever,
Yep.
and then I had that one like Thopter Foundry thing where I could sacrifice to create an artifact, gain 1 life, and then put out a fucking 1/1 Thopter.
Yeah.
I have a non-creature, a non-token artifact.
Yeah.
So like I'm continually gaining life on that. Like, it was to the point, and he was playing my ally deck, which I think I'd modified at this point to put some red in there. Because it'd been.
I'm pretty
while.
sure it was still green-white at that point, but it was more focused.
The basis of it was around white though. Like green was
Yes.
like for like pumping some beef, but it was basically as I gain a bunch of life and gain protection, and then I get to hit you. So like at one point, he was up to I want to say 300 or 400 life.
Probably pretty close.
I was about 150. So clearly it was a disadvantage to me, but still we're both over 100 life. This game went for close to 2.5, 3 hours. And the entire time we are still drinking jungle juice. So it'd go my turn. I'd sacrifice all these artifacts, do something else, I'd swing in, gain some more life. He'd be like, I'll take it. I'm like, okay. And I'd hit him. And he'd go down like, I don't know, 50. You know, like we're just like haymakering each other. And then I would pass the turn. So I go up to like 200. He's now down to like 300, and then he'll like draw a card, play something, give everything lifelink, and pump things up. Swing in for like 80. Again, big haymaker, and then he'll gain that much more life. And I go down, and then I draw, and I do it all over again, and it just turn after turn.
Was
after
that when
turn
rally was a thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like it's just turn after turn after turn. Like he gains a bunch, then he loses a bunch. I gain a bunch, I lose a bunch, and it went on forever.
Yeah.
I don't think you understand how long this went. Like it got to the point.
Forever.
It got to the point where he's sitting there complaining, like, "Oh, my knees hurt sitting on the ground. Like I don't sit on the ground. It's hard for me to get up." Like he's just sitting there bitching about it.
Drinking.
Yeah, at one point he's sitting there just staring at me, just holding the cards, and he like leans back against the wall because we have this little coffee table right next to the bathroom, and he just leans back and cracks his head against the wall and goes, "Oh, my turn." Like we were so desensitized to the games, like we're not gonna lose. It's whoever decks out first, and I think it probably would have been me, so I would have losing that game too. Coincidence? I think not.
I don't know. I think you had more recyclers than I did.
I was drawing more cards per turn though.
Yeah.
So like we're sitting there for 2.5 hours, and after that amount of time and drinking, and it being like 4 a.m, we both just kind of like put our hand out. I was like, "You just want to call it a draw?" Yes. We shook hands, put the decks in the boxes, and then I fell asleep in front of the bathroom door. And like
I went to my closet.
Yeah, it was like a matter of like we got done, and then like within 2 minutes after we were done, we were out.
Both asleep.
And then no one get into the bathroom because I'm curled up in a little ball in front of the bathroom door.
Yeah, because I remember having to step over you the next morning.
Yeah, like it was very hard to get around me. I wasn't moving.
No,
he put me in a coma from that duel, and that's
the life game coma.
Yeah, the life game coma. That's the story called now. It's the life game coma story. And that is by far my favorite game of Magic I've ever played, and it happened to be against Chauvin, which ties in with this whole episode. And he doesn't remember it. Yeah, that's fine. He has his own stories that he remembers. His favorite games. Do you want to share one, or you want to save that for part 2?
We'll save that for part 2.
All right, we're gonna save that for part 2. We are going to end this now. Anything you would like to tell the ladies or gentlemen?
No, just I don't know. If you feel like playing, go find a store.
All right. I guess that's it. We will see you next time. Probably maybe part 2 with him or someone else. I don't really know. Bye, everybody.
Peace.